Greetings, fellow Gothamites. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5. Over 10 years ago, as the Dark Knight changed things forever, we lost the actor who made it happen. Heath Ledger delivered the ultimate performance that left us eternally wanting more. While we all thought we saw the last of his portrayal as the Clown Prince of Crime, two men unearthed amazing footage of what he might have done next.
The job falls to us to comb over the files and documented exploits of Patient 4479 in this ultimate tribute to the role of a lifetime. Let's start today's session with I hear wedding bells. It's a shotgun wedding, everybody. A shotgun wedding. Hooray. I don't know why I'm so happy about that. Anyways. Okay, Dragon. So this is a pretty monumental episode.
This is a biggie.
Yeah, spoiler alert for anyone who for some random reason is watching this without having seen the episode. What are you doing? Why are you here? Link is in the description, but first appearance of the Batman in this series.
Yep.
All right, so Dragon, very intriguing episode, especially the way it was set up. I mean, it's like I pretty much expected, obviously with the found footage of it all, I expected there to be like some setup with the wedding stuff and it being a wedding videographer. I mean, that just makes sense. We'll get into it. I'm intrigued with some of the stuff that they set up. I don't exactly know if they're going anywhere with the camera guy, but I do think him being like, I will use the phrase ambiguously sketchy, was an interesting call. But yeah, I mean, obviously the meat of this thing is in the last 5 minutes, and it's a glorious last 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think
just except I have one nitpick about the last 5 minutes that we'll get to.
Well, Tiki, when you say 5 minutes, do you mean 10? Because he shows up at like the 10-minute mark.
Yeah, whenever he shows up, sure.
All right, so kind of like
I think Batman shows up at like the 15-minute mark.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you did.
That's when it really kicks into high gear. But yeah, you're right. The whole thing. Yeah, like the whole Joker thing. Yeah, it's absolutely. And of course, it's aping one of the most famous Joker scenes from The Dark Knight. Doing it really well. Yeah, overall, really like it.
All right, so let me give you some context. This one actually has important context, so I should inform you. This is going to be a little, even the setup here is something to file away for where we're going. So this is the main event, as I'm sure you guessed. The show's been building to in kind of our Nolanized Mad Love kind of adaptation, in terms of like the creation of Harley Quinn's story. There was a lot of hype and attention over this, which you can imagine was magnified by, kind of our found footage jump to the aftermath last episode, where it's like, okay, Joker's got a shotgun, he's entering the church, and he's coming out of the church. What did we miss? Yeah. And of course, the great, the tension filled, just teasing the audience with giving Ted the task of uploading the wedding tape that someone filmed this while I was in church. It's basically, oh god, the wedding videographer. There's always one. Uh-huh. We have a wedding tape, and Ted's got to upload it. So I was there at Ground Zero when this thing aired, man. We were all there at like when 3 minutes to midnight. This is before you had like kind of your Discords and everything. Now this is back when it was. This is back when basically when the thing premiered, like the comments were hopping in. I think there was like a community page at the time that was functioning. So between the community page or the video comments, like everyone was like basically instantaneously saying what they thought about the episode, and basically everyone on the edge of their seats thinking, myself included. I kind of led the charge, and I felt really bad about it because I was just hopeful, not like I was in the know or anything at that time. That oh boy, because when it aired, didn't air at midnight, so it led a lot of people like myself to believe, okay, could Ted be uploading the wedding at midnight the very night this dropped?
Yeah.
Which was not the case. So imagine. So you tease that up at the end. The 3 minutes to midnight airs March 28th of 2010. So this wedding, as you saw by the promo, aired April 11th. So the anticipation and the hype, plus they kept teasing you with other videos kind of in the midst of it. There was like an April Fool's Day video, and of course they always do something on Heath Ledger's birthday for his anniversary, and what they did this time was the promo for the was the promo announcement for the wedding day, which everyone was like salivating. When's the next episode?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, it's coming the 11th, and with that promo, a task was given. Now, Tika, this is the important part, is what you want to file away. So, the big tasks that they've been building to, all the tasks essentially were the same thing: getting the word out on the show, ideally to Warner Brothers. So basically, everyone was tasked with sending a wedding invitation, that like a printout or like an email of like a wedding invitation of the Joker blogs, basically linking to the channel and everything, and just basically telling Warner Brothers what the heck the Joker blogs is as a wedding invitation, and sending it to like an office in on the lot. And basically, the idea again, let's just draw as much attention as possible on the specific day, so Warner Bros. Has no choice but to check us out. And,
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Nice.
Let's just say
that's really clever viral marketing.
Exactly. Of course, very much inspired by the Dark Knight's viral marketing.
Of course, yeah.
Let's just
snake eating its own tail, if you will.
So I'm going to save the rest of this for later, but let's just say Warner Brothers took notice.
Okay, interesting.
I'll say that much. Anyway, so as you can imagine,
for good or for bad, we don't know.
We'll see.
All right.
So this was the hardest episode for them to make. I think the biggest challenge, as you can probably guess, the location.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been shooting in basements and college campuses and on the streets of North Dakota. That's where we've been shooting.
We need an actual, very literal church.
Yeah, I mean, the exterior is one thing. We can have Joker running to and from a church easily, but, we can't really have... So what they did is their solution to this was rather ingenious. They shot it in a funeral home.
Oh, yes, wow. Wow.
The interior was kind of a rather spacious...
That's very clever. That's very clever. All right. That was stupid.
You were trying the very creepy thing, weren't you?
Yes, I was. It didn't work, so...
Not at all.
Very clever.
Okay. So I'll say some of the other tidbits for when we break it down. So without further ado, let's talk shotgun wedding. So
all right,
let's talk about our cameraman. Tiki, did you recognize the cameraman's name?
No, I did not.
Okay, so the cameraman is Jack Ryder. Now, Jack Ryder was the newsman who replaced Summer.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and Jack Ryder becomes a superhero. He becomes the Creeper.
The Creeper. Well, there you go. That answers my question. I guess it's not so ambiguous after all.
Yes. That's not to say we're going to go full on Creeper, but we definitely draw some hints that perhaps. So Tiki, you're absolutely right. Now we're doing stuff with Jack Ryder coming up. We are now whether he's going to be full on lemon skins the wacky man. I won't say that much. I don't think we're going to go full like a shade away from Freakazoid. I don't think we're going to go that far with it.
Oh, God.
Well, again, I'm not far off with that because, again, the Creeper was literally the model for Freakazoid. So,
Right, yeah.
Anyway, so point being, you have Jack Ryder here as a young, intrepid cameraman, kind of a Gothamized Jimmy Olsen, if you will. He's a GCN. He has a GCN internship as the cameraman, and he's been hired to kind of sow his oats here by being a videographer for the wedding, and that's kind of our new found footage device. Which, I mean, overall, with the found footage device, how do you feel about the whole wedding is captured on this tape and rather ineptly, captured?
Yeah, I really do like it. I really think that it's it's definitely got a slow build to it, and at a certain point there is just a teeny bit of a when are we gonna get to the fireworks factory?
Yeah.
But I do like that it kind of like slowly builds tension, I really like how like the guy is sketchy, but at the same time you almost kind of have to wonder, like, is he just socially awkward, or is he actually malicious in his sketchiness?
Yeah, I've always read it as just pure incompetence. I just viewed it as like, yeah, he's just kind of that dumb, but it might be kind of a social thing. But I'm sorry. On the surface, it's incompetence, but I think later on in the scene where he's eavesdropping, that's where there's a social thing going on here, which basically leads into.
No, honestly, I think the eavesdropping is like the most it's not outright malicious, but it's pretty malicious.
That's what I'm saying.
Filming it.
So I think there's shades of like a bit of it's kind of a again it's kind of a grounded take on he becomes a character named the Creeper, so perhaps we put some tendencies of that guy into kind of who he was beforehand, which
Uh-huh.
is kind of interesting. But I will say this though, Tiki. That said, I've always felt this way. I still kind of do. And there's going to be a change coming with Jack Ryder, which I'm interested to see how that might strike you. But this Jack Ryder, never crazy about him. He
I
was.
mean, I can see it. I can see it.
Yeah. So anyway, so we're signing the guest book, which a little Easter egg. The creators signed the Andrew DeVary and Scott McClure, their names in the little guest registry book. If you look, little
Nice.
freeze frame. So basically, he's getting the guest sentiments on tape for the couple, which is a cute idea, but obviously just the fact that he burns through we're setting up that he's burning through all the footage and he has no idea what he's doing as a cameraman, which is going to pay off hilariously later.
Uh-huh.
So that's the first couple, just roughly, it's that we basically what we do is we reestablish what we set up before. That guy is taking Harleen away from the Joker into Metropolis, which is important. Like after this wedding, he's taking her to
I mean,
Metropolis.
that is one of the things I appreciate about this. The first 10 minutes or so is that there's a lot of moving parts to it that are kind of like naturally captured via the found footage thing.
Yeah.
And so I really do appreciate that as far as, kind of like navigating the found footage, making it feel like realistically like just an incompetent cameraman with the wedding, but also having it like flow cohesively to give you information and storytelling bits. There's definitely a skill to that when it comes to found footage that I find pretty underrated. Like
Yeah,
kind of that line between narrative and realism.
of course. So we have, so then we go to Father Mikhail.
This guy was straight up my favorite character in the episode.
Let me ask you this, because
Straight up. I loved him.
on the rewatch, I got this vibe, and I wonder if you might have gotten this too.
Okay.
I never thought about this before, but the father being a very kind of classic Irish Catholic, kind of like that.
I mean, that's what I love about him, Dragon. He's like he's almost like a Family Guy stereotype.
So with that in mind, the stereotype brought about a Batman connection for me. I had not known it before. I wonder if that's an homage to Chief O'Hara.
Yeah, totally. It could be for sure.
Yeah. But this episode definitely is kind of drawing the line that we're going a little broad on a few things, which is kind of like it's kind of subtly kind of establishing. Yeah, we're gonna stretch things a little bit going forward. So we basically can get people on board for if we're gonna do maybe bigger than life things, which I think it's again kind of not full on '60s Batman, mind you, but it's like a little broader. It's like it's like at some point, like if Nolan, I'm not saying they're going to do that here, but at some point, let's say Nolan never did like full on Clayface, that sort of thing. You need to kind of bridge it a little bit before Nolan does full on Clayface, or if he even could do that, which obviously he didn't. But so anyway, so Father Mikhail, he has inspiring words about the marriage and everything, the holy union, and he's basically talking to the camera, and he had some gags like that. And he keeps Jack Rogers keeps botching his whole thing. He's like, "No, I'm not getting married. I know you're not getting married. I mean, I'm talking to them, aren't I? This is going to them." So then, while Father Mikhail's like saying some lovely things about commitment and vows and such, what's Jack Ryder doing?
He's taking an interest in a certain someone.
Yeah, he's zooming in on old Pammy Isley in the background.
Pammy Eyes.
Yep. Of course, the father's hilariously chewing him out very loudly.
I love the father's like straight up like he's not just offended, Dragon. He's just like he's like, I see you, boy. I see what you're trying to do there.
I can see right through you.
Yeah. It's like that's not just calling someone out. That's like calling someone's entire that's calling you out as a human being. You know what I mean? It's not just calling out your one action. It's intense. Almost.
It's a religious figure too.
Yeah.
Don't be like this joke. Love each other.
Oh man. Oh god. It's like right. I love what I like about the priest is that he's simultaneously one of the funnier things and also one of the more tense things in the episode.
Oh, for sure. And I love that we have this jokey character and then something serious happens to him later.
Totally, yeah.
So I love that. I love you don't really see it coming.
Uh-huh.
All right, so then we have...
And they'll never see you coming.
Yes.
I don't think that was a direct quote.
No.
Anyway, sorry.
So,
What is the direct quote? Now it's going to bother me.
and they'll never see me coming.
Oh my god, it's not even fucking Joker.
No,
Jesus
no,
Christ.
it's not the. That's what I'm saying. I
Okay,
think it's the Mandarin.
I'm sorry.
I thought you
Oh,
were
getting my wires
intentionally.
crossed on the villains. Okay, my bad.
Well, yeah, I thought you were referencing the
No, I
Mandarin.
literally, for a brief moment, I had a brain fart and thought that was a Joker quote.
I think actually the Mandarin said, "You'll never see me coming." That's what he said.
Yeah.
Right. All right. What was it? Oh yeah. So next guy from the Arkham games. I want Quincy Sharp. So a younger version of Quincy Sharp, which I gotta tell you, this always charmed me. The fact that one, the casting was so on point for a younger version of that guy.
I love that name, and I love that Harleen calls him Sharpie.
Exactly. You know, I love
it's such a good name, Dragon. I don't know what it is. It's a very like literary, phonetically pleasing name.
and it's a Dini pool. So Paul Dini, who wrote the Arkham games, he came up with the incompetent, the incompetent warden of Arkham Asylum, very corrupt individual who basically is, the asylum got taken over rather easily, and Harley Quinn was torturing him and gave him the nickname in that game Sharpie. So they pulled that from there. And what they did here is they legitimized. They were okay. So what we're saying is Harleen Quinzel, because there was a gag of perhaps Quincy Sharp was enjoying kind of like being tortured by Harley Quinn in the game. So there's a little bit of that there. So they kind of made a meal of that here. Where hey, Sharpie, there was an actual bond with Harleen Quinzel, which maybe he took a little too into. It took to be a little more than what it was. She put in a good word for him, and he's obsessed over her. So I think that's kind of a fun pull. Anyway, so she got him the internship at Arkham, which down the line might bump him up to warden. Who knows? So, because we know now that Arkham's gonna be under new management since Dr. Arkham sold the asylum, so all is possible. So, so that's going on. So so Guy. Now, Tika, this is the big part here. So Guy is calling his brother Garrett on the phone. Now, we saw what happened to Garrett.
Yeah, we know Gary's not doing too well, Dragon. Something tells me Gary's not going to make it.
Yeah.
It's just a gut feeling.
I hope they send someone in his place, because you can't have a wedding without a best man. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it just wouldn't be right.
It's not done. It's simply not done. So, Tiki, as I mentioned with that earlier, I kind of alluded to, is to tell you full on what the deal is here. So, again, the film version that they gave away, with like the Kickstarter for the Joker blogs, the film version of this story, intercut, between the interviews and moments like this, it intercut between basically Joker on his kind of his odyssey ever since he got in the car to the church. So, like, you'd cut from the other, like, I want to say, you'd cut from either him calling his brother, not picking up, to him waking up in the tub or something, or vice versa. Where he gets knocked out, then the phone rings, and we cut to the other side of the phone call with this scene. And we cut that. So, see, that's the main reason the first half is all these interviews, Tiki, because when they play the long game, it's so many interviews so they can intercut between Joker making his way to the church. Which, again, feeds well into the found footage thing. So it's kind of a two birds, one stone thing.
That's actually really intriguing that they're able to like do the different versions of it and still have it work. And I mean, it's like another layer to the editing that the thing is so good at.
I know. I mean, to be fair, the end result is, I want to say, clocks in at like 3 hours, but it is impressive though. Because that's all the episodes, like everything. So it's Anyway, let's see. So, he's calling his brother Garrett, who's the best man, who eerily is not who's not answering his phone this close to the wedding. Let's see. So, sorry, I have to ring in phone again. Point is, we're building up the need for the best man. That's essentially what's going on here. Ryder's making some jokes about the bachelor party at the Iceberg Lounge from last night.
And I love how it's like, no, dude, like, don't even go there. Don't even go there.
Yeah, like, don't mention the. So, what do you think about? So, this is the guy that Harleen's marrying, dude. The guy we built up, and like, what's his name? Guy. Well, that's definitely a guy's name. What do you think about Guy Kopsky?
I mean, honestly, Dragon, I think his name sums him up pretty well.
Nice guy, right? That's about it.
He's like an average guy, Which
I love that.
I mean, I don't really have that strong of an opinion on him. He just like, I mean, I kind of like that he's like trying to keep his composure while all this, while all the stuff's going on, while at the same time you're just in the back of your head, you're thinking like, oh boy, if you think you're stressed now.
Yeah, I like that he's kind of an opposite to the Joker, and he is just the most average Joe that there is compared to
Right,
the
totally,
less than
totally.
average Joker, if you will. All right. So anyway, he's basically trying to get Jack Ryder in line, like, make sure you save enough footage for the wedding. Yeah, there'll be enough for the tape for the wedding and after the wedding. So what I just say? All right. So anyway, where's the best man, et cetera, et cetera. So let's see. Beyond that, we're interviewing people, and obviously, we're having fun with the editing and everything. Where he's just like, "Hey, he's starting the tape," and then it cuts to, and he's going to the bathroom with the camera. His writer sucks with the camera.
Uh-huh.
Make a heck of a newsman, but he's a terrible cameraman. So we have the big Harleen and Ivy scene. So this is kind of a big deal. Like we added Poison Ivy to the
This
smoke in the
is,
wheel.
I feel like this is very, very much how Nolan would do it.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense, and you never really think about this. Where usually the way we see it is Ivy's like an established villain. That's how she meets Harley. But what if they were in medical school together, or just in like they went to Gotham University together, and they probably met
Uh-huh.
each other and became gal pals.
I mean, I think like Poison Ivy as we know her would never exist in Nolan's universe to begin with.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the plant lady or the mutated plants or whatever. I just think she's so like, I feel like the best you can get with Poison Ivy is to potentially build her into like a radical environmentalist
Yeah, well,
in the Nolan verse.
that's the thing. I would always say it would. I think you're absolutely right. I would just equate it to what the animated series started with, where she was just the lady who's obsessed with plants, but taking it to the practical thing like you are. Yeah, she would just be kind of like an environmental terrorist on kind of
Right,
Nolan's take.
right,
But yeah,
yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so she would probably start off as something like this, and then maybe
Uh-huh.
escalate to that sort of
like
level.
like
Sure.
she like like let's say if the Nolan trilogy, like, this would never happen because
Yeah.
it's Nolan, but if it was like an ongoing series,
Yeah.
like she could be introduced here and then maybe like in the movie she's introduced and have shades of her protests and stuff, and then
Yeah.
like have that like evolve into the next movie, I'm thinking.
Sure. So, by the way, and this thing's kind of we saw this from the get go of this episode, but big thing with Harley now, we fully revealed her face, unobscured.
Yeah, yeah.
And again, every time you see anyone, someone's face is seen, they're in a lot of danger when the Joker's involved. So I love that we like fully again like the most danger she's in the series, and now when her face is fully on display.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I like the mirror framing. Even though Jack Ryder is sneaking around very creepily, yeah, creepily, he's gonna be a creeper. I just love the framing of this, like catching the mirror again. He's kind of he's a good cameraman in terms of shot composition, not so much in terms of managing the camera and the buttons.
Uh-huh.
But we have like this thing where Harleen's. I think there's a lot on her mind. I think the doubts are kind of swirling in there, and obviously the chaos that 4479 is drudging up is not helping things.
Oh yeah, I mean you can tell that she's talking about her job, and when she says her job, you know what she's talking about.
Oh yeah, and we have Ivy cinching the dress and everything, taking her breath away, and we have the. I like that we make a joke about whole poisoning the champagne and everything. So that's kind of cute. Like, okay, we're teasing up things, but it's like kind of a jokey, kind of macabre humor the two kind of share, which is kind of
Uh-huh.
fun. So
Oh,
yeah,
but the macabre humor, I really like the gag where Ivy's like, if it makes you feel any better, guy's nervous too. I slept with him last night to calm him down, and Harley's just like, oh yeah, well that's fine because I poisoned your champagne.
yep, which is very on brand. I will.
I really like that, Dragon. To me that one little exchange in dialogue is like, yeah, that's Nolanized version of these characters to a T.
Yep. So again, speaking to her job, Harleen's having hesitation about leaving her patient and Gotham, but a little late to back out now of the wedding. So she's walking down the aisle for better or for worse, and let's just say it's going to be for worse, kids. Also, this is funny. So Harleen mentions that guy has a brother, which is just so wonderfully macabre, knowing what we, the audience, know at this point. Hey, I got a brother. I mean, he's got a brother, and the matchmaking plans are going to be rained on. Emphasis on the rain. So,
okay, I'm trying to think of like a bathtub joke connecting the brother with Batman and Superman and Lois in the bathtub.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything, but let me I just want to put it out there that that connection is conjured in my head right now.
Yeah, just like Lois is mad at him one time, just throws the toaster in
God.
there. Like it was gonna be fine, obviously, because like he can't.
It's like it's not gonna kill him, but it's not gonna be pleasant either.
It's like the opposite, like lighting candles in the bathtub.
Man.
It's gonna be like all the relaxing energy is just gone. It's like, oh, look at all that. This is so unpleasant right now. Look at this.
Oh, God.
Bubbles are gone. What happened?
All right, I was kind of like second guessing myself and even bringing that up, but I'm glad I did because we got that image out of it. Anyway.
All right, so just like Superman with the arms extended, like, hey.
Oh, God.
Like, not cool, Lois. Come on. I'm sorry I stole the byline. It wasn't my fault.
Oh, God. All right,
anyway,
all right.
So, getting back on point, we have a kind of a cool nod to the animators. I know for a fact Andrew DeVere, out of the two especially, he's very big into the animated series. This is a reference to Poison Ivy's, the Pretty Poison episode where if you're going to set me up with anyone, no politicians. A little reference to, they can't do in the Nolan verse, mind you, but like, her dating Harvey Dent to try and kill him in the animated series.
Uh-huh.
So politicians and lawyers and such. So she's definitely catching the bouquet. So then, of course, they find Jack Ryder like an idiot. Just like his very bad rationale. Like, wait, were you filming us the whole time? I don't know. It doesn't make it any better.
Yeah, that honestly makes it worse.
Yeah,
because like if you weren't filming it, then what the fuck were you doing, buddy?
Yeah. So Ivy calls him, says, "Hey, I'm single, Miss Ivy."
Oh.
Dr. Isley, if you anyway, so she calls him the creeper, and we shut the door. And a little magazine for like the dressing room area. It's a Harley Quinn. It's a Harley Quinn poster.
Uh-huh.
Like a little fashion choice thing.
I noticed that. Yeah.
Jester head in there. Okay, so Ryder just causing more trouble at this wedding. If you notice, he's just getting into more trouble.
I did. In a way, he's almost kind of like a Joker in his own right, like just unintentionally.
Which again, I liked how that kind of play. I'm not crazy about the performance, but I do like what we're kind of doing with that. Where like the father calls him a joke, and where the creeper's he's like kind of a more heroic Joker-esque figure. So the fact is, we're giving some a little bit of Joker-esque, and the fact that he goes along with some things later on, that definitely helps that too. Anyway, yes, so he's opened the champagne, he's giving it to guests who are waiting right now, which you don't want to do because people are going to be schlockered for the wedding now.
Exactly.
It's like we're taking the celebration.
He's just like making every error in the book. He's like, he's popping the champagne. We'll get to it, but he literally does not have enough tape to even record the damn wedding.
And then he's hitting on Mrs. Hugo Strange.
Oh my God. Okay, Hugo Strange. Oh. Let me just say, I was very skeptical about this guy, because obviously he's very young for what we know of Hugo Strange. But man, just giving him the characterization of like he's a sloppy drunk. It really kind of like gives you like a personality to attach to this particular version of Hugo Strange. You know what I mean? It gives you something to kind of like some meat to chew on there. To differentiate him.
You're going to want to file that away, Tiki, the whole sloppy drunk Hugo Strange.
I mean, I assumed it was a setup or something because, it's like they make a pretty big point of highlighting it.
It's a big highlight here. It's going to be like a little payoff, like, oh, hey, look at that later on. So it's going to be kind of, But yeah. So at this, Jack Ryder saying, well, this was probably not going to be a wedding. You're the cameraman! So then he points out something he knows from the video sessions that I heard you have a waterbed. How's that treating you?
How do you know these things?
She pulls the line.
How do you know these things?
I love that she pulls the line, and then Hugo, how does who know what things? Like, I heard someone say my catchphrase.
Right.
So, Paul Vernasek, by the way, again, the handicap all of our actors have, unfortunately, is that they do look a little younger than they should. That gets a little remedied down the line, but right now but still though, good performance though. I mean, I like the intensity.
I think because we've never really seen Hugo Strange have a drinking problem, and so I think just giving him that is like I said, it's like a nice little bit of characterization where it's like we inherently know what Hugo Strange is about, but this is this version of Hugo Strange, and this version of Hugo Strange is a drunk. You
Yeah, so
know?
he's a little schlocker. He's threatening Ryder, really like, how do you know these things?
Uh-huh.
And he's got a temper, and he's got maybe some alcoholism at home. It sounds like, given the wife's reaction. So,
And I really love the almost the fourth wall break with with the Joker leaking the
mhm,
videos getting out there.
yep,
It's really cool how the found footage element of it is leaking its way into the actual plot.
yep. Like, darn you,
Mhm.
4479, and yeah. All right, so then we have like Quincy Sharp, and I think the idea is
Try
Quincy
to keep
Sharp.
this short, man. I'm running out of tape.
Right, right. Definitely Quincy Sharp, and I think his niece or his cousin. The idea he just couldn't get a date for the wedding, so he got like
Oh,
a
that's
family
sad.
member. Anyway, so he's just basically kind of like going for broke, saying it clumsily that he has feelings for Harley Quinn. Harleen Quinzel, and you see to the side guys like he's in agony. Wrap it up, put him out of his misery. Wrap it up.
Oh God.
So then we have Harold Quinzel, who is the wonderful Al Ogden. Man, this actor. I don't know him for anything else, just this. But,
He definitely stood out to me, man. He really he embodied the stressed out father of the bride very well.
yeah, I really like this guy. We're gonna get a little bit like a slightly. We're gonna touch on him at least one more time down the line.
Uh-huh.
But Harold Quinzel, man, loving proud papa.
Kind of has like some Martin Scorsese energy in the rare times that Martin Scorsese acts.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good pull. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. So guests are starting to leave. Just a good actor, very affable. Like he made a good impression with the screen time that he had.
Yeah,
Which is what
yeah,
you
yeah.
want. So he's asking his future son-in-law what's up. Like, well, his brother's absent, which means okay, well, the father's like being paid by the hour. So okay, with that in mind, we should probably let's just go ahead without the best man. Big
Uh-huh.
mistake. Oh God, huge mistake. So okay, so then so
I
Doctor
love how it's like the Joker. It's like God knows how long he's just like waiting in the wings, like because the Joker is not going to make his entrance at any point, but the speak now or forever hold your peace moment. It's
Yeah.
like he is far too theatrical of a man to do anything less. So it's like I wonder how long Joker's just kind of like creeping around, just waiting for it to happen.
Well, remember though, Tiki, again, all those interviews, that's all happening while he's driving there. So it possibly does time out exactly like that. But
Oh,
he,
that's true. That's true.
no,
Yeah.
you're not right. There's a chance he could be waiting a few minutes, like in Dark Knight Returns, where he's like off to the
Like I
side
could just
waiting.
see him just like like just outside, like, come on, when are these people gonna get to
Come
it?
on, come on. I want you to say
Nice, nice. Does he ever do that in the
Yeah, he
series?
does it in this episode a little bit. Yeah.
I did not I didn't have a chance to rewatch this episode, but you'll have to point out when he does
I
it.
will. I will. I think he
Okay.
does it. I'm pretty sure he does it here. Well, anyway, so we'll get there. Oh, so Dr. Thomas Elliot drops by. The guy who becomes Hush in the whole
Uh-huh.
thing. Did you notice anything familiar about this actor, Tiki?
No, I can't say I did off the top of my head. No,
Okay, you're gonna
sorry.
love this. I was hoping you were gonna say that. Okay, so this is Scott McClure without the makeup. This is the Joker.
Really?
That's him.
Oh, that's trippy.
Yeah, and he
That's
continue,
really trippy.
and he's gonna play this character more. And it's like
Uh,
so that's the thing. So Thomas Elliot,
damn,
and
that's a head trip.
yeah, and he was really good. What do you think about this character though? What do you think?
Uh, I mean, I really like the tense energy between him and
Hugo Strange.
yeah. Like I'll be honest with you, I didn't really get like at this point in the episode, I was more just like focused on like, okay, when the fuck is the Joker gonna get
Yeah,
here?
well, that's the fun thing. If you realize, like, oh my god, we kind of the Joker has kind of entered the episode.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so let's just say they're teeing up Thomas Elliot for some big stuff. He
Uh-huh.
basically
Okay.
he's at the new Gotham. They rebuilt the hospital the Joker blew up in the Dark Knight. He's running it now, and he put in a good.
Oh, I didn't even catch the fact that it was the rebuilt hospital. Okay, that's a
Yeah,
nice little
they
detail.
said the new Gotham Memorial. So basically,
Right,
so he
yeah.
is so the idea. He's the doctor friend of Bruce Wayne's. That's Thomas Elliot's whole
Uh-huh.
deal. Who basically will become insanely jealous of Bruce Wayne, regardless. He gives a toe. He's obsessed with Aristotle, which is like that's what the quote's all about here. He's like, I see
I did
someone's.
notice that because I will admit I've been watching a lot of Linkara recently, which yeah, I know. But he's a Linkara is a sleeping aid, all right?
I have no judgments on Linkara. By all means, watch what you
I
want.
know you don't, but I'm trying to justify it to other people.
Okay.
He's a sleeping aid. It's like I turn him on and it's kind of like,
It's Miller
nerdy
time.
comic book stuff to just drift off to sleep to.
Okay.
I'm serious, though.
I'm aware.
But I've been watching his Hush video. I watched his Hush video recently. So when he quoted the Aristotle, I actually knew what it was referencing.
Cool. All right, so you're up to date on the gist of Hush. You got it.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so I do love his save for like the drunken Hugo Strange. Oh, Dr. Thomas Alley. it's like someone's taking the liberty of opening the champagne. I love the charm of this guy here. Where he basically pulls the whole Aristotle quote, making a toast to a happy couple. Love is composed of two beings inhabiting a single body, real classy. And then he makes a little tense threat to Hugo Strange as he kind of takes his leave. And also, they kind of said this, like, he's the one who got Guy the internship in Metropolis. He's the reason Guy's going to Metropolis. So that's kind of a thing there. Joker might not be happy about that down the line, but regardless, point being, he says like, "Don't ever do that to me again." Like, I have powerful friends. Well, that makes two of us, pal. So, oh boy, the tension between these two doctors, dear God.
Oh yeah.
Jack Ryder wasn't recording. Okay, so it's game time. Ivy sets up the bride to walk down the aisle. We have a little goodbye with the father here, essentially. Little kind of last moment she has with her sanity with her father, which is kind of tragic. They kind of tell Jack Ryder, "Hey, make sure you save some for the ceremony." No, but seriously, I'll get all the good stuff. No, seriously, get all of it though. And what does he do?
Oh yeah, I love just the hard jump cut.
Yep, just the important thing is I'm filming now. So he literally
getting this part.
So he literally showed up just as the I do's happen.
Now,
by the way, if I recall,
there's got to be some sort of waiting around on the Joker's end. There's got to be.
I got to be honest. If I recall, I can't remember. I have to go back to it. I want to say this might have been like the remaining edit of like, okay, so make sure you get all the footage. Cut the Joker cocking the shotgun and making his way to the church too. Well, the important thing is I'm filming now. That's his entrance. Might be. Don't quote.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't know. It's like
I buy it though, Tiki. Anyway, I buy that he's waiting.
Give me this, all right?
No, I'm saying
just give me the idea that Joker's even if he walks in during the ceremony, he's like, "Oh, okay, it's almost here. Let's get to the vows."
No, Tiki, I agree with you. I think it is entirely possible and on brand. Joker's doing the full Shrek here. You got to wait for the objection. Make your entrance. He's going the full Shrek 01.
Yeah, exactly.
So, does anyone have any objections?
Mrs. Robinson!
Again, Tiki, I really think you got that wrong. Because Mrs. Robinson's the mother. I look back on the scene, man.
It's okay, then it's a Mandela effect then.
Fine. He's shouting I don't know I forget what the girl's name is, but he's shouting the girl's name anyway.
Okay, I call Mandela effect on that bullshit then.
Whatever.
I really do.
Fine, Mandela, whatever. I think you're thinking if you're trying to seduce him, Mrs. Robinson. I think that's what you're thinking of. But anyway,
he's banging on the glass, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, he's banging on the glass, but he's not saying Mrs. Robinson. That's the mother.
God damn, that's anyways. That the Mandela effect. I'm telling you. Anyways,
all right, whatever. The point being, right? Is there anyone who has an objection to why these two shouldn't be wed? Enter another stunning Joker entrance, to quote Mark Hamill. Bam! Shotgun kneecaps the priest.
And then here we go. It's like this. The episode's momentum just goes from 1 to 100 really quick.
Yep, and I love that just without missing a beat, he motions the cameraman to follow him, and the cameraman's so stupid he was going to do it.
Okay, I'm glad that you bring that up, because that is the one nitpick I have in the episode, is that the Joker and the cameraman don't really seem to be acknowledging each other.
Well, he looks at him and he kind of he gives a motion of follow me.
Okay, but is there a pre-arrangement with the cameraman?
No, that's the thing. There's no arrangement. I think Joker kind of sees that maybe this guy's a sick puppy, or any cameraman is going to want to get all the footage. It's an assumption the Joker's making. You're right, but he just I just love on cue. He just says hey, come with me. Follow me.
Okay, I'm glad you point out the come with me thing, because that's honestly something I missed.
It was almost the shot I was going to go with in lieu of this shot. I got to be honest, because I really loved it, where he looks at the cameraman and he gives him like the motion. But that's the thing. It's like, regardless, you could make the argument he has the guns. Like, hey, I'm telling you to come with me, or else I'm going to shoot you. So you can look at it as a threat.
Right.
But yeah, he's that. That's there you go. Anyway, so he's making his way down.
I mean, frankly, if I was the cameraman, I'd be getting the fuck out of there. I don't give a shit about the footage.
Yeah, but again, Jack Ryder, as we've set up, he's got something to prove. Like, I am a good cameraman, darn it. Even if I have to follow this psychotic clown with a gun, I'm going to prove it.
Oh my god. Okay, that's just like twisted backwards logic, because it's like, so basically what you're saying is that he's trying to prove that he's a good cameraman by following the person who's like trying to murder people at the wedding.
I'm saying
that he's getting paid to record.
He's going the full Nightcrawler, man.
Oh man, I love it.
I mean, again, either that or he's afraid. Like, hey, the guy with the gun says, "Follow me." He'll shoot you if you say no.
I would like to think it's a little bit of both.
I know, it's by all means. I mean, we've established Jack Ryder not a smart guy. Not smart. Anyway, it's kind of a trial by fire, because he becomes a good cameraman during this sequence. You got to give him points there.
Okay, that might be the biggest buy I have logically still.
Yeah, sure. And again, well, to be fair,
it's like, because it does get pretty damn cinematic.
Yeah.
To the point where, I don't know, dare I say, Dragon, for as cool as the Batman scene is, and it is pretty damn awesome, I think it's probably one of the biggest times in this series so far where it doesn't really feel like found footage.
I mean,
just because it's so cinematic. Does that make sense?
I mean, yes.
That is a line that found footage movies do have to cry. Like it was what I was talking about earlier with the line between realism and narrative.
Okay, let me tell you. I want you to put a pin in that, because there's a moment where I will agree with you, but up until that point, I don't. Okay, there's a moment where I'm going to agree with you that we do kind of we bend the rules a little much. You know.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so right now, we're still pretty like it's just him following him down the aisle. So
I mean, don't get me wrong. Until the lights go out, I'm pretty much fine with it.
So when we get to Batman, we'll talk. Well, I'll tell you what my breaking point is with that. So. Harold Quinzel, he's pleading for his, like, I don't want him to get hurt. Like,
this got me, man.
Right? Yeah.
It's like I just don't want anything bad to happen to my. It just dead. Just
But what if what I want is for someone else to get her? Now he is alive, mind you. He cold cocks. So Harold Quinzel is alive. Just so. You know.
I didn't catch that.
He's alive, but he is wounded. He's hit in the head. He's an old man getting hit in the head, like bam, like just like. You shut up there. I just don't want anything to happen to my daughter.
Guy dies pretty instantaneously.
Yeah, he does. He does.
I mean, it's like there's not a lot of ambiguity there. You know, there's not a like call 911. Maybe we can save him.
No, but I love the. Okay, put one second. I just love the line of like. We should have thought about that before he gave her away. That's a great line if you're going to knock out the father.
It's like, because we just had that big heart-to-heart, like, you know, like, I'm so proud of you, but I'm also losing you, you know?
I know. Right. It's beautiful. So Harleen just demands, like, stop it! Like, she's had enough. Like, you just hit my father. You cold-cocked my father at my wedding. So Guy is just, I love
and of course, Dragon, given the ending of this episode and on a rewatch, you have to wonder, like, how much of this is like premeditated on Harley's part.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. I mean, a part of her deep down kind of rooting for something like I don't think she was rooting for like, her father to get knocked out and for certain people to die, but I think she was rooting for something to go awry with her wedding, probably by the hands of the Joker. So she demands that he stop. I love the staging here, very kind of like the Harvey Dent party scene in The Dark Knight here, but we have the fun element of Guy kind of the defensive staging, like kind of covering his bride, which obviously is going to bite him in the end. But no, we can't stop here. I haven't even kissed the bride. Besides, the best man just got here. And then the guy's asking, oh my God, I've been trying to call my brother, and this guy's mentioned the best name. What did you do to my brother? And this to me is, I think, the cleverest line of the whole thing. I didn't do anything to him. He killed himself. I was shocked. He was more shocked. God.
Yeah.
One of my favorite lines in the whole series. Love it so much. It's a good line. All right, so and you can't have a wedding without a best man. And in the good old days, the best man would stand in for the groom if he should die. And of course,
Dragon, is this true? Have you done any research into this?
I mean, Tiki, there were screwed up rules about weddings.
It's messed up, man. That is messed up, dude.
I will tell you, I've never looked into it to verify it after this, but I mean, I know there were twists. Like the dowry in itself has always been a weird concept with a wedding that I think we still technically have. The whole the down payment for the bride, which is weird, and I think now we're just trying to phase that out. It's like
exactly. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, there's weird wedding traditions.
It's very much just like, okay, woman doesn't have a choice in this, man. If the woman doesn't like the best man, like if the best man is like the groom's best friend, and the woman just doesn't get along, it's like you screwed, you know.
I mean, take it like there are arranged marriages, and in the old, they always make the joke in the caveman times we just clubbed them on the head and we just dragged them. So I mean, it's possible.
Oh, God.
I'm inclined to believe it because it sounds like that's a very specific kind of way of phrasing that. I don't know.
It sounds like something Nolan would research too.
Yes, it absolutely sounds like something Nolan would research. So then, of course, the Hans Zimmer music, which we saved for all the good parts between this and episode 16. They're really coming to play full on here, and the tension just mounting in the strings, and then bam, shotgun guy, he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Guess panic, they flee. Guess who the first person to flee was? I'm going to guess Tommy Elliott, because you don't see him and the Joker at the same place at the same time. Anyway, yes. So what I love here, so after when Guy dies here, I love the sadistic element of the Joker's performance here. He's feigning sympathy. Oh no, stay with us. Stay with us. He's just he's feigning assistance, and then he gives kind of that whole six guys killed. Like, how many of my friends have you killed? 6. Like that ooh face, like the ooh, that many. It's like, ooh, sorry about that face. Like the yeesh, gives like that yeesh expression, like he's gone. So then he's grabbing Harley, and I love the tension in this scene, man. It's like the whole I don't want to be a party pooper, but you really weren't ready for a relationship.
Oh, God.
He's just getting in her face and kind of staring her down, and then you hear a crash. And oh, God, Tiki, everyone in the audience. I mean, for this, especially after the last episode, you're wondering, where the heck is Batman in all this? Dear God, he shows up. The lights go out. Boom. And then this is where you hear Joker saying, come on. So he's kind of doing the whole.
Yeah.
He's basically saying, come on. He's like, oh, no. And then he's saying, come on. As he's waiting for him to show up, and he's like shooting, like he's firing rounds, and he's making his getaway. And we have kind of
I don't know. Wait, when Joker starts shooting, that's where I have in my note, like, where is the camera guy in all this?
Well, here's the thing. So you have like a faint night vision. You see Ryder following him. I'll tell you when there's a moment that we're very close to it where it starts to get more and more heightened. Or okay, now we're just kind of throwing it out the window here. So we have night vision shots. We see Batman enters. A lot of people have thrown. I can't tell you how many people have lobbed the criticism that you see Batman running. You should have an instantaneous bat entrance. Where it's like, I mean, there's a practical element there. They wanted the flowing cape. You see Batman run. He has the flowing cape. That's what they wanted, and it's dark. I don't know. I liked it anyway. So. Batman shows up. He throws the batarangs. And this is where we're starting to get there. And then we go full on. We're okay. Now we've completely left it. We're like, I'll admit having Jack Ryder get the shot of like all 3 batarangs hitting the part of the church as they're running away. That's a little cinematic, but then it goes full on cinematic once Batman and Joker are having their conversation. I don't buy a Jack Ryder's like in Batman's face with that camera.
Yeah, totally.
See, for me, I'll buy everything up to that until that happens. Okay, that's where the line is. So, like, I buy that. Okay, Jack Ryder, he's like getting in Joker's way, and there was really intense shot like Batman's beating down the door as they're on the other side, like the basement of the church. And then he falls down, and like Jack Ryder's probably on the ground. Joker's being dragged off screen. But after that, though, I call BS. Like that's yeah. It's cool though. It's just not exactly found footage. So, do you have any guess to who the Batman is?
No.
Steve Maloney.
Okay.
Dr. Arkham.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a little. Anyway, that's why I keep saying on Harley Quinn and Joker versus the Real World that he should, why Frank should play Batman if they ever have him in the show, because we have kind of like a familiar character come back. Okay, so Batman has been under the radar after the Dark Knight, clearly, and I assume we're going to get into this a little bit more with the as it goes forward. But let's just say I assume before the Dent Act takes effect, Batman's been kind of tapering off before he goes into hiding. I think that's kind of what's been happening here. Like, there's still crime on the streets, and obviously Joker breaks out. Batman's going to have to get involved. So Joker's kind of asking the audience question like, "What took you so long?" "I've been watching you." Says, "You and a lot of other people. You know something
Love that
funny?"
line. Another good kind of like fourth wall break.
It is. It is. It's so great. Just like,
Uh-huh.
you know something funny? Right now, they're all rooting for me. You have no one. I mean, it's a meta line. He's kind of right. Now we, the audience, are rooting for the Joker in a twisted way, and also, with the whole flip protagonist thing, but also it's Joker, kind of mocking, how the impact on Gotham's been going ever since he took the rap for Harvey Dent. So it's a really great line. Sure. So Joker's making.
It's also probably maybe a little bit of a meta commentary on how in The Dark Knight he clearly stole the show from the actual Batman character.
Yeah, a little bit of that too. Yeah, a little bit. So Joker's making, again, the dialogue I thought was really great and like a wonderful payoff. You're going to get these two in frame with each other. There's a pretty good exchange. Like, "Oh, we belong together. In fact, there's a little ceremony upstairs waiting for us to walk down the aisle and seal the deal." And like we call back the great line he said to Harleen way back during the therapy sessions. Because remember, folks, it started off as therapy sessions where we had, it's like, "That's a compliment." So Batman's starting to second guess. "Maybe it was a mistake letting you live. Well, go ahead if you think it'll help. But you know what the difference is between you and," basically the one line we wanted in The Dark Knight that we didn't get.
I really like that too. It was very natural.
One difference between you and me: one bad day. Now, Tiki, this has always been like the oh my god moment of the show. I mean, what did you think of just like one bad day, tensions mounting, the Dark Knight score is coming in there, and then bam, Batman's been blown away, and we reveal who shot the shotgun at our shotgun wedding. And dear God.
Oh yeah. This is totally like a wonderful payoff for sure.
Just Joker's reaction, like the eyes glazing over to the side and seeing Harleen Quinzel wedding dress covered in blood with a shotgun, just having shot the Batman. Also, a little blonde in her hair. It's one of the, I meant to call that out earlier. It's got a little bit of blonde in her hair, just a little bit.
Yeah, I really, really like this ending just because it totally, like I said, it recontextualizes a lot of things, and it really is like, okay, like it almost feels like a season finale, Dragon.
Yes, exactly, and that's technically it is. Yeah,
is it really?
I mean, we have like there's an epilogue we have to get through, but essentially, yes, there's
Okay.
So, Joker saying you do not get. I love how upset he is. You do not get to do that. And like,
yeah.
Because the only relationship he values, the big relationship he values, obviously, is with the Batman. So it's like, hey. Of course. So I love this. You'll notice he does not get that shotgun away from her. So she is very steadfast. She's holding that thing, and he's just pointing it in his mouth, which is a great Joker move, by the way. Like, fine, just like puts it in his mouth because he knows. And I love this. He knows she's not going to kill him. She's not going to shoot him. I mean, for starters, she just shot Batman. That's a pretty good sign already. She's not going to shoot him. But secondly, it's the fact I just love how he calls her out here. And this is where everything feeds into what you were saying earlier, Tiki, about her hopes kind of being like the wedding would get interrupted. Or Joker, I love that he's twistedly right here. It's like, am I the only thing you have left? There's the ambiguity, like the whole, what's going on here, where it's like, hey, where the whole time, like, you knew, like, you didn't want to go through with this wedding. Why else would you get so close to me? What did you think an obsessed patient would do? And when you go on with the wedding after he breaks out, if that's not an invitation, I don't know what is. But I mean, yeah, it's just great. Like, how much of that is just, like, it is like her true nature at play here, where deep down, like, Joker has just kind of gotten under her skin to the point where, yeah, she is on his wavelength. She just won't admit it. To just cold necessity of like, oh my God, my patient is broken out. My fiance is dead. Literally, the only thing I have left is him. I can't let him die. I can't kill him, or else I've lost everything. Which is
exactly, and I love how it's like, you can still kind of read it as her trying desperately to cling on to her career, but at the same point, you can read it as a little bit of like she's starting to get emotionally attached to him.
Yep. I mean, she didn't have to shoot Batman. That to me is what signified that that's a crack in the armor right there. Like she's full on, the Kinsuki is there and the blonde hair is the gold filling, man. She's
Uh,
brilliant. So, of course, in saying this, he then just kind of goes on to say, "Is he? Oh, he has. Here's the big full circle payoff. It says, is there a pattern emerging? Is there a method to the madness?"
nice, nice, nice.
Which I love, and again, that's why it's such a big line or intro and outro. Again, method to the madness
Yeah,
is the
yeah,
big
yeah.
payoff, and oh god, it's kind of the question of the Joker. It's like that one question that she threw at him. I'd like to think, again, ultimately, that's what set all of this into motion. The fact that she asked him that question and it amused him. That's the thread that he pulled onto. I'm going to see how much, if I can do the whole one bad day thing to this lady and how far I can go with this.
God,
If I could,
right, right.
just that one question led to all of this, and it's like the perfect period to put on it. And then it just goes into the the whole you practically pulled that trigger yourself. And he's really getting close to her. It's a question of like, is there a kiss to seal the deal? Or is he just kind of getting really in her face? And before anything happens, bam! Shoots him in the arm. That's why Joker's wounded and he's bleeding in the subsequent episodes chronologically and everything. And I always read it as she's descending in the madness on her own terms. Like, I am going mad, but I decide when I do it, not you.
Totally, totally.
And of course,
And
Joker
I'm
just
definitely interested in seeing like this. At this point, it's a more it's a more confident version of the Harley Quinn that we're used to, and I'm curious to see if we're going to keep going in that direction or if the Joker's slowly going to beat her down to where she's more subservient. I don't know. I feel like there's, because it's a Nolanized take, I feel like it's not just cut or dry what's exactly going to happen with it.
Oh yeah, I think you're gonna like what's gonna happen with Harlane.
Cool, cool.
So Joker's been shot in the arm and he's writing this off. And again, it's like him trying to kind of exercise
I get
control
it.
here.
You have to make it look convincing.
Yep. You have the side by. I love the side by side shot. So then we have her big line. Like, you know what they say about payback.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a bee pudding, and then like bam, cold cocks him for cold cocking her father earlier. Like bam, right in the face. And then Joker wants to. You know how much he loves wedding cake. Well, at least
Oh
we can
yeah. Oh yeah.
The one disappointment I have with this episode, and I get entirely why they didn't do it, so I like that we service it with this bit here. I mean, I always wanted Tiki for him to run out of the wedding with like a little foil wrapped piece of cake, but it would have been too cumbersome.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted that, but I get why they didn't do it. But we do get this though. Like, well, at least we get to cut the cake. He's the idea of being Batman,
Oh
being
my!
the wedding.
Could you imagine if during 3 minutes to midnight he's just randomly eating like a slice of cake?
I know. I wish that I wanted that, but it's like, yeah, like him running out with the cake, it would have looked kind of like weird. Like, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
can't run out holding the gun in with one hand. It wouldn't. Yeah.
Right, right.
Anyway, so Joker's so again he's about to cut the cake, and
I
then we
think the
have
Joker needs to like start like a micro food business where he serves like single portions of wedding cake.
where did that idea? That's a fun idea. I was just wondering where. Okay.
Oh, I don't know. I was just kind of thinking about it with all the, with all the talk we've been having of how good wedding cake is, and he's not wrong. It's like, why should we have to actually go to weddings to get wedding cake?
I'm gonna go next level here.
Oh God,
Okay.
okay, okay.
Now, you remember, like Joker loved, like when he was in the crashing Harvey Dent's fundraiser, and he was like just grabbing, like while he had the shotgun, he's just like, because you need one hand on your gun or your weapon of choice to when you crash a wedding or crash a party, so you're gonna want a hand free to get your snacks and like kind of steal like your champagne and
Oh
everything.
God.
And remember, he grabbed that and he did grab a little bit of food on a shish kebab.
Wait. Are
So
you gonna suggest wedding cake on a stick?
I'm gonna suggest wedding cake pops.
Oh, I'm sure those exist.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Imagine like the Joker's wedding cake of choice would be like a wedding cake comprised of cake pops, and he was grabbing
Oh
those.
man.
Like it'd be like imagine like a little bride and little groom, and just grab the groom just take a bite. Anyway, so point being, well, we didn't have quite that. We had a dramatic bat entrance, just didn't go. We saw him running around. We do have an awesome bat exit. My God, when he exits, like it's like we turn and this Batman's gone after he's been shot. Like, wow.
Totally.
So then he's looking at. So then we bring back the found footage thing as we've gone quite cinematic, but then we kind of call it back. We bring it back in the found footage as he's looking to the Jack Ryder. Well, it looks like it's just you and me, and Ryder begging for his life. Please don't kill me. I'm gonna need that tape. Just grabs it.
Nice.
You don't quite know what happens to Jack Ryder. I'm just gonna loop you in. Like, he does survive. I don't know how well he survives, but he does survive.
Okay, fair enough.
We don't really see. Again, we don't really see. I don't think we ever truly see Jack Ryder. So with that logic, yeah, we don't know how. I don't know if he's not scarred up or anything. I have no idea. And yeah, that's the end of the missing portion of our fan footage. This was the shotgun wedding. So final thoughts, Tiki.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of moving parts here, and honestly, talking through it, like, it is a lot of setup, and it is a little bit of a when are we going to get to the fireworks factory factor?
Which, to be fair, chronologically, we do go to it next, or we've already gotten it with 3 minutes to midnight.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. Like, literally
with literal fireworks. Yeah.
Right. Oh, but I don't know. I really do like that first 10 minutes just for how much it's kind of like, it's almost kind of like the writer sort of playing a game of chess. They're like kind of thinking ahead with those moves. And I really like that style of writing. And then obviously the Joker stuff. I mean, I don't know, Dragon. I feel like the found footage thing, just because I'm such a found footage aficionado, I think it bothers me a little bit more than it bothers you still. But I'll just have to give it a pass. I really, it's
in their defense, they've been doing a really good job to it up to this point.
It's literally the first time it's even bothered me at all. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's quite as like, I don't know. I think this and 3 minutes to midnight are pretty much like, they're very much kind of on the same level as far as just like, the endings to both of them are just fantastic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and kind of our dual climax sort of thing.
Exactly.
Which again, the Dark Knight has a dual climax itself. So,
Sure. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Yeah.
Of course, with Two-Face, you'd have to have the dual climax.
All right. Hey-yo. Anyways.
All right. So, okay. Final thoughts for me. Yeah. So, yeah, I've always, I like this. I don't think it surpasses. I really like this episode. I don't think it surpasses 3 minutes to midnight for me personally as a finale. But again, as a dual climax, again, it's well supported. It's in good company. Just not. I don't know. I like you're enthralled more in the action, everything with 3 minutes to midnight. And again, just the ending is utterly perfect with Arkham, as I keep gushing about. But our payoffs here are very, I feel are very fulfilling, especially on returning visits and with the whole like de-evolution, like the whole evolution of Harleen Quinzel to Harley Quinn and how that story goes. I mean, this is always, for many people, not just myself, but more so for other people, I think this has always been the episode with the chinks in the armor, which I think I'm amazed that, honestly, I gotta be frank, I'm a little amazed that you really liked that first 10 minutes. I was a little worried how you're going to react to those first 10 minutes.
Well, like I said, I really like it. Just honestly, as far as like me being a found footage horror, I feel like it's way more realistic,
Yeah. No, it is. I'm saying a lot of people, though, because again, they're waiting to get to the Joker action. A lot of people say, why are we sitting through the joke, all this stuff? But it is. I'm glad you appreciate it. Just kind of the build.
I do. Yeah.
That's the
like
thing.
I said, I think there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of setup, a lot of stuff being set up and paid off there. It's not just party small talk.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, again, Jack Ryder is kind of the make or break, but again, knowing that we do some better stuff with Ryder down the line, I think kind of helps that retroactively. When you go back to it, you kind of find some stuff there. I love the logic behind our wedding and everything, and how we intercut things within the movie version, or even just as the found footage piece itself. Like all of this is on one tape that obviously was misshot by a cameraman, but it was all on one tape. So either or, it works, and it's. The big takeaway for me is I love how with everything after Joker crashed in the wedding and everything, I love how intimate and brutal Joker breaking Harleen Quinzel was executed here in terms of the Nolanization of that story. Just paying off, like the whole, is there a method to the madness? He broke her sanity in one day, her wedding day of all days. I think that's great. And the love triangle is very well represented between her and the Batman in the church of all places. There's just, it just feels very, it's very fulfilling. Again, it's like not quite the whammo blammo finish that we had in 3 minutes to midnight, but it's the emotional arc. It's the character arc finish, which is very nice. All right.
All right, well, folks, our time's up, and it's time to reseal the further evidence until our next session when we attempt to answer the question, is there a method to the madness? With the Joker Blogs case study.
How do you know these things?
How do you know these things?